You know what, they may look pretty similar. Well, that's because they are to an extent. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and I've got the Samsung Galaxy Note, at least the unlocked version, in my hand over here. And then I've got the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket over here. This is a device on AT&T. This one's coming to AT&T with 4G LTE capabilities, but right now, it's the unlocked version that we got in the PhoneDog offices. Spec-wise, 1.4 gigahertz dual-core processor over here, 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor on the Skyrocket, 4G LTE connectivity over here, HSPA Plus connectivity on this unlocked version, and 8 megapixel cameras on both of these. So obviously one's kind of a phone-tablet combo, and one is just a really big Android phone that has a 4.5-inch display. Which one of these should you go with? We're going to find out in the Dogfight. But first, some love to Best Buy Mobile. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, they'll help you set up your email, your web, your camera settings. All that is part of Best Buy Mobile's Walkout Working program. The goal is to get you working. When you walk out the door, you don't have to deal with settings. You don't have to deal with spending the time to take care of that stuff at Best Buy Mobile. They'll hook you up in store. Let's take a look at this. Samsung Galaxy Note, Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket. Which one is a must-have device? So obviously the highlight of the Samsung Galaxy Note is the S Pen, and let's take a look at this just to see how it compares to previous kind of doodling applications on older devices. This is a capacitive stylus of sorts that allows you to do a lot of different things on the device. You can come in here and see this, for example, and we can go in here and take a look at the pen settings. We can change that, and we can say things like PhoneDog is awesome with my kind of half cursive, half print. Yo, PhoneDog is awesome, yo. I can do kind of like some little drawing up there, but you can do a lot of different things with this, and surprisingly it's pretty responsive and works really well. So, you know, whether you're in a meeting, you're in a class, and you need to take some notes, you got the ability to do so, and you can easily convert it over to text if you so desire and use the keyboard. Bring that over, and then we can go back to doodling. I could say that is what's up. Actually, what's up. That is what's up. Of course, I guess if I said it like that, I really would just change it like that. That's what's up. Anyway, that's too grammatically. Anyway, you can see here, easy to type on. I can get rid of things, play around with it, you know, have some fun. Doodle, I can draw a horse, and then draw a horse. That's a terrible horse. But you get the idea. That's a terrible horse. Good thing I don't draw for a living. But you can see there is my effort. Got a horse and a saddle on the horse, and apparently it looks like it's dying. But anyway, you get the idea. S Pen's really nice. You can use it for meetings, for class, take notes, and you can easily screen capture and do a couple of different shortcuts here with this as well. So I can take a screen capture of the home screen by pressing and holding. If I remember right. I want to say it's that. Nope, never mind. That brings up the S Pen. Let's see. Thought it was that. Yeah, there it is. So I can take a picture of the screen, get into the gallery, and use that so I can, you know, circle maybe Charlotte, partly sunny, whatever, and send that to a friend, as you can see here. So I can draw on it, and have fun, and send it over to a friend. So there's a lot of different options you can do here, and this is, you know, a feature that really makes this unique because it really bridges the tablet functionality as well as the phone functionality. Over here, obviously, you don't get any sort of S Pen features, but what you do get is a more pocketable device that resembles a phone a little bit more. So you can see over here, 7 home screens, you got your widgets here. One thing I love about TouchWiz, the widgets are customizable, and you can see the setup is largely the same on both of these devices. But we'll load it up and take a look, and we'll bring over AccuWeather, for example, and bring it over here to the home screen, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And we'll bring up, remove it, and you can see I can change this around and make the sizes different, which is nice. We've seen this on Motorola's user interface, the latest iteration of it. And for an area like this where there's not a whole lot of space left, you could maybe fit 1 or 2 widgets in there thanks to these customizable widgets as opposed to static widgets like you see on HTC Sense. So that's a real benefit, in my opinion, to these platforms. Nice to have customizable widgets, and of course you can download some additional widgets from the Android market if you so desire. But both of these devices have been relatively fast and with little to no lag, despite one having an Exynos dual-core processor and one having a Snapdragon dual-core processor. I think you'll be pleased across the board. Let's take a look at the cameras. Both have 8 megapixel cameras with 1080p HD video recording, so we'll take a look and kind of get an idea, at least a rough idea. This obviously isn't a scientific test by any means, but at least a rough idea as to what which one looks the best. So we'll bring over, not the Droid Razor, let's do the Galaxy Nexus this time. So we'll bring this over for a picture sample. And you can see the way the layout looks here with the option to flip it over to the front-facing camera, and then I've got the option to switch it right back to video mode, and of course flash on and off, or video mode over here rather, flash on and off, and then the settings over here where I can change the quality, the white balance, the ISO, and more. So we'll come in here and let it focus in, and obviously there's a lot of light shining down on this right now, but I press it and hold to focus, and when I remove it, it takes the picture. So there's one picture there, and kind of same setup here, just on a smaller screen, but you can really, even in this video, after looking at this device long enough, you can really see the size difference in the display. So we'll let this one focus in as well, and take a picture. So we'll go to the gallery on both of these and see how it looks. And again, you know, really great for viewing content. So be it pictures, be it movies, whatever it is, this 5.3-inch display is great for content. So you can see Verizon's 4G LTE logo there, which is blasphemy in an AT&T video, or at least in a video that's highlighting two AT&T devices, but still, there we go. Kind of get a similar look and feel here. Let's try and zoom that out, or get that out a little bit there. And so you can see both take an exceptional picture. I would give a slight edge, an ever so slight edge, to the Samsung Galaxy Note in the picture department. I mean, it's too close to call, really, but the Galaxy Note just pulls it away a little bit in terms of lighting, a little bit more clear around the rings here, and some of these areas where texture is highlighted. The battery door, it just seems a little bit more clear, and again, that could be because of the HD display over here. This is HD, whereas this is not. 480 by 800, 800 by 1280 pixels over here. So obviously, more on the screen makes the image quality fantastic, but still, the camera, I would give it to the Samsung Galaxy Note. Now, if you're a picture buff, or video buff rather, both of these shoot video at 1080p, so you can go out there and take that casual video with ease. It's also important to note that this bottom part will be gone on the US version. It'll be 4 buttons. It'll be menu, home, back, and search, as opposed to having a physical home button. So let's take a look at speed test on both of these devices. Load that up as well. Again, 4G LTE over on the Skyrocket. The AT&T version will be getting 4G LTE over here, but right now the international version is running HSPA Plus. So at least we can kind of get an indicator as to AT&T's network performance between HSPA Plus and LTE, so we can see and kind of compare the two and see what they look like. So speed test is loading up right now. You can see LTE is moving up there in the 6 to 7 megabits per second range right now, and then HSPA Plus is moving right about 4 to 5 megabits per second, and we'll see what comes out here. So actually it went up a little bit, 8.86 megabits per second on LTE, 5.76 megabits per second on HSPA Plus. So pretty reasonable speeds. And then on the upload, 5.94 megabits per second over there, and about 1.9 megabits per second on the Galaxy Note. So we'll load up Quadrant Standard as well. Keep in mind, Quadrant Standard, as with any other benchmarking tool rather, is not the best when it comes to indicating real-life performance. And actually, I need to download it from the Android market. So let's go over here and do Quadrant. There we go. And you can see Quadrant Standard over here already loaded up. So we'll install this, and because of 4G LTE, it'll move relatively quickly, and we can take a look. So run full benchmark over here. I'm going to wait and go ahead and do them together. We'll open this up, and we'll run the full benchmark on both of these. Now, interestingly enough, very different batteries here. You've got a 2500 milliamp hour battery over here and a 1850 milliamp hour battery on the Galaxy, or excuse me, on the Skyrocket. So big battery difference, but again, big screen difference as well. You're powering a much larger display. So my question was, going into the review and kind of going into these dogfights, how long is this thing going to last? And I'm pleased to say that after the Droid Razr Max, it is currently the second longest lasting Android device. I've been really pleased with it. I've noticed that leaving it on a table overnight, for example, the battery drain is very minimal. I can run about, I'd say, 14 hours or so with moderate use, 14 to 15 hours before this device flashes a low battery warning. Over here, I'd say about 10 to 12. So if you're looking at it from battery and battery performance alone, the Galaxy Note is going to be the winner. So if you're looking at it from that, if you're looking at it from pocketability, obviously the Skyrocket is going to be the winner. Call quality on both of these, very reasonable. In fact, I would say that it's about equal. Took both of these to an AT&T dead spot to test them over the course of the reviews. I've gotten very similar results. People report pretty decent call quality across the board, and not enough to where I can really kind of give the edge to one or the other. It's been pretty equal. So 3,687 over here, 3,308 over on the Skyrocket. So again, you're very close in Quadrant Standard. Again, take that with a grain of salt, because that's not the most indicative test, as are any of the speed tests when it comes to measuring real-life performance. So it's a tough call, and really, like I've said in a lot of the most recent dogfights, these devices are so close in terms of specs, in terms of functionality, that it's really going to depend on what you want. If you want 4G LTE, at least right now, the Skyrocket is the device for you. If you want a giant display and you want something that kind of resembles a tablet, but you don't want to spend money on the Galaxy Tab and a phone, go with this device. Go with the Galaxy Note. If you're looking for something a little more pocketable and that has that LTE connectivity, like I said, go with the Skyrocket. Now, at this point, the winner of the dogfight is the Samsung Galaxy Note for a couple of reasons. HD display, big plus, 2500 milliamp hour battery, huge plus. This thing is big, and it may not be practical for a lot of people, myself included personally, as a device, just because it's too big. It's too big to carry around on a day-to-day basis as far as I'm concerned. But for people with bigger hands, people that just want a big device, have a hard time seeing things, hey, this could be a perfect device for you. And with that big battery, you get some pretty exceptional battery life. It's a close call. Both of these are great devices, and actually, up until now, this has been a great performer, and still is a great performer on AT&T, but it's going to get some hot competition when the Note lands on the carrier on February 18th, and they're going to appeal to, while they will appeal to different demographics, I think you'll be pleased with either one of these devices. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with the Galaxy Note and the Skyrocket on PhoneDog.com. Keep it locked on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Like us, come over there and say hello, and be sure to follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on my Facebook page at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Let me know what you think as to which one should have won. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.